All right, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Happy Saturday. Saturday morning live stream. Just coming out. Wanted to take the extra time that I had this morning and just kind of see what would happen, maybe add a little live video to the playlist here, go through some news, talk about some stuff. Definitely had an interesting day yesterday with a lot of things that I learned. And I'm going to get into some of those things because they're just so interesting, and maybe I'll even be able to play the video for you. But I'm actually talking about something called Gematria. Just maybe jump right into it. I was doing a lot of research on Gematria yesterday, and Gematria is basically the ancient practice of ascribing or coding messages with numbers. So if you have a sentence and that sentence will equal a certain number, and then certain numbers have specific values, and the Bible is written in Gematria. Obviously it comes from the original Kabbalah, Jewish practice. So it's been a thing that's been around for a long time, and I found this person's channel on YouTube, Gematrinator, and it was just one of the coolest things ever. But besides talking about that, we're just going to go through some of the news, kind of do a overall look, see what's happening, see what people are saying here on this Saturday morning. I'm going to go through some of the blog posts by Gematrinator because he goes through a lot of news stuff and it's just like out of this world. So, that being said, let's get into it here. We're gonna go to the Gematrinator website, and if you have not seen this before, I highly recommend you go on here. This is one of the coolest websites, and there's just so much you can do and so much you can learn, and we'll just talk about it briefly. Simply put, Gematria is the practice of coding numbers into words. It is an ancient practice that traces back to at least the Hebrew and Greek languages, in which they used letters from the alphabet as numbers. The idea that this system can apply to the English language gets brushed off by many, but thanks to the tireless efforts of some astute researchers, it's clear that not only does it apply, but it is used daily in news, media, and sports, with events in all three often coinciding with one another. There may be even more to Gematria than just numbers words sum to. Attentive decoding of your own personal life, including family members, birth dates, and dates of important events, you may uncover some bewildering synchronicities that seem to transcend true randomness. The study of Gematria and how it is being used against us by the elite ruling class is a young one, so we hope you too will take interest in this aspect of our reality. Those in search of true knowledge without willing to sacrifice their dignity should find Gematria to be among the most interesting of intellectual pursuits imaginable. Zachary K. Hubbard's Letters and Numbers provides an encyclopedic collection of information regarding the presence of Gematria in our mainstream media dating back for centuries. Let's just see what Letters and Numbers is all about here. Letters and Numbers. How English's numerical code reveals the scripting of history, news, elections, rigged sports, and more. Wow. I will be getting this. Anyway, back to the website. And just, I'll give you a quick example here. This is a Gematria calculator. So, one thing that I saw Gematrinator do, and I've also seen Randall Carlson, the famous, very well known, I should say, geologist / researcher. He spoke about Gematria when he was talking about sacred numbers being embedded within all sorts of ancient architecture, basically just sending messages throughout. And it's just so crazy to see. So like we take a phrase the number of the beast. Or sorry, it's probably number of the beast. So if you type in, this is from the Bible, and I just saw him do this yesterday. You take the phrase number of the beast, and you get a reverse full reduction. And you can see that when I hover over reverse full reduction, down here, you can see what each letter represents numerically. So number of the beast, reverse full reduction is 87. But the English ordinal, the total regular, is 174. And then when you look at the English ordinal, just to show you, A is 1, Z is 26. Full reduction just goes 1 through 9 every time. But so you have you take the word number of the beast from the Bible. You get a reverse of 87. Then you type in something like Bill Gates. You get 87. Omicron, 87. I forget the other ones that he did, but we will go to the blog posts where he talks about this because he lays it out pretty specifically, and it's just nice to see. But if you take my name, you get Chad Wesselcamper. It's cool. If I just do Chad Wesselcamper, I get 8 for my reverse. Or if I do my kind of official name, sort of official name, I get 8, which is my lucky number. But I want to go to the blog posts by him, the Gematrinator blog. And we're just going to look at something. So let's take this one. Germany announces lockdown for the unvaxxed. All right. You got to pay attention to this because there's a lot going on. So Germany announces nationwide lockdown for the unvaccinated. It's obviously no coincidence that Germany is the next country to make this announcement following last week's news from Austria. If you're unfamiliar, in Austria right now, you can't leave your house if you're unvaccinated. Oh, to make this announcement following last week's news from Austria, where Adolf Hitler was born. Hitler would grow to become the leader of Nazi Germany. Today has primary numerology of 55, 12 to 2021. So this is coming out on the December 2nd. 12 to 2021. Primary number 55. Merkel became Germany's chancellor on the date November 22nd, written 11/22. Adolf Hitler. Gematria right here. Adolf Hitler, 11/22. That's the reverse English. This is all leading into what will be an extremely interesting 2022. And so then they take a word or phrase, Hitler. Hitler in Jewish, the Jewish gematria is 222, or in the primes gematria. And there are different ciphers that you can choose, which means, I'll go back to the calculator actually. When you choose a cipher, you are allowing for different versions of gematria. And I'll show you that very briefly. Okay, so typically you just have English ordinal, full reduction, reverse ordinal, and reverse full reduction, but then you go to the ciphers. And you can have, so in the English ones, regarding the English alphabet, you can add satanic, reverse satanic, then you have Jewish, you have Kabbalah, mathematical, you have primes, trigonal, Fibonacci, all these ones. I don't know all about these, but I've just been learning some recently. So Jewish is a different system, and that's down here where A equals 1. But then K is 10, 20, 30, 40, 90. Okay, so I see how that goes. I don't know the backstory of that, but that's pretty cool to see. All right, David, how we doing, my man? We're talking about Gematria, and I highly recommend that you go to the YouTube channel Gematrinator, because he has been showing me some stuff that I just think is absolutely mind-blowing. Houston, we got to keep Houston what it is. Don't let it go. All right, we're back to it. Merkel became Germany's chancellor on the date November 22nd, 1122, written 1122. When you put Adolf Hitler into the Gematria Calculator, your reverse English Sumerian is 1122, and that would be considered a link. This is all leading into what will be extremely interesting in 2022. And when you have a 0 in your numerical order, typically you would drop a 0. So Hitler in Jewish is 222. Primes is 222. I'll go back to the calculator. We just type in Hitler, Jewish, 222. Just like that. Thank you, David. Yeah, you got it. Definitely check out his channel. It's so wild. Order out of chaos. Order out of chaos. 222. It's been 76 years since the death of the German Führer. Führer, 76. That's our traditional English ordinal. Okay, today is December 2nd. Not actually today, but when this blog post was written. When Germany announced a lockdown for the unvaccinated. Today is December 2nd, written 12/2. If you type out 666, you get your 122 on the day that it was published. More big COVID news, more 666 for your subconscious. This news is the first step before Germany, which used to be home to the Third Reich, tries to implement mandatory vaccination. Third Reich, full reduction, 66, reverse reduction, 60. Word or phrase, mandatory, 666, vaccination, 666. Very interesting. So let's type in mandatory. Now remember, he said there was English, Sumerian. Where is that? There it is. Now I'm going to be honest, I don't know a lot about English Sumerian. So English Sumerian just goes by sixes. So A is 6, B is 12, and when you type in mandatory, okay. Vaccination. There you go. Pretty odd. It's definitely not good, not a good sign. Recall that 666 is revealed as the number of the beast in Revelation. However, yesterday I also learned from the sky that 616 is also considered, and that's coming from something called Papyrus 115, a piece of papyrus found, which was a lost book. And David is saying that the Masons, etc., are all about the numbers, dates. They believe that they have to put it out there in different ways, moves, etc. So if we're dumb enough to fall for it, oh well. Yeah, David, exactly right. Revelation, let's see, COVID-19, English extended 850, Jewish 1010, Revelation 850, 1010. This is pretty interesting right here. Revelation spells out that the number as 603 score and 6. 603 score and 6. Today is 16 years, 10 days after Angela Merkel became Chancellor. Wow. That is so crazy. So if you didn't just catch that, because sometimes it's hard to understand, but this is crazy. So just a reminder that he is doing a blog post about Germany saying the unvaccinated will be totally locked down. This blog post slash news came out on December 2nd, 2 days ago. Today, meaning December 2nd, is 16 years, 10 days after Angela Merkel became chancellor. Revelation spells out that the number of the beast, they write it as 603 score and 6. When you type in 603 score and 6, you get 1610. It's 16 years and 10 days to the date that Angela Merkel became chancellor. Very weird. Very weird. The beast, the phrase the beast, has gematria of 311 in that same Jewish cipher. The beast, 311. 311 is the 64th prime number. Word or phrase: Merkel, 64. Joe Biden, 64. Now, sometimes I just think, like, how relevant, how statistically significant is it? But I actually think, based on what I was reading yesterday, that it is rather statistically significant, because it's kind of hard to find links, and these would be considered just links, or another word that they called is ties or something like that. Basically, they're just kind of synchronistic meanings that are embedded into the words, and I think that it's very odd. The name Angela Merkel has a lot of overlap with numbers relevant to this ongoing event. Angela Merkel, reverse reduction 67, reverse ordinal 220, Jewish 224. COVID-19, 67, full reduction. Coronavirus pandemic, 220, English ordinal. Corona, 224 in the Jewish. Of course, it all began with COVID-19. Angela Dorothea Merkel, 190, meaning 19. So that is just an example of how this works and how he links these things together. And I mean, it's really interesting. I definitely would recommend going and checking it out for yourself. I think that it's almost earth-shattering. I mean, he went to another one the other day where he was basically saying, like, we know, or you can put the numbers together regarding what happened with this baseball player. Might even go to that video real quick. Basically, there was a baseball player who broke his leg, and Gematria. Oh, that's right, when I typed it in like this. This is one of the greatest YouTube channels. Definitely recommend watching the Astro World one. It's somewhat horrifying. It's got all these videos on here. But we're going to go to Charlie Morton Breaks Leg, reviewing the numerology. I don't think you're going to hear the sound, but we're just going to be able to watch it a little bit. And just to, speak it out in case it's going a little too fast for you, Charlie Morton got his leg broken. There is another Charlie Morton, who's another known baseball person. The two Charlies were born 129 years and 1 month apart. Charles Hazen Morton died on 12/9/1921. His gematria is Charles Hazen Morton, which equals 12/9. They were born 12/9 apart. We'll continue. Charlie Morton broke his leg on 10/26. Chas, short for Charles Morton, gematria 126. Remember to drop the 0. All right, I'm not gonna stick on it for too terribly long, but and I also am gonna have to jump off here. But I just wanted to talk a little bit about that. Go check out the Gematria. Go to Gematrinator YouTube channel. You're gonna be very surprised, and I think it might be a key to opening some sort of important information. But thank you guys. We'll see you soon.